And we are back, and we just finished watching 2021's Reminiscence. It's rated PG-13. It's 1 hour and 56 minutes, and currently streaming on HBO Max, and also playing in theaters if you are so inclined to go out into the world and experience a movie-going experience.
Risk your life to watch this mediocre movie.
I didn't give a damn about this movie.
I was just about to say, if you have HBO Max, just watch it on there, because it's not worth going to the movie theaters for. Holy moly! I don't even know where to start with this.
It wasn't the worst thing. Was it? Do you
wasn't
think it was
the
worse
worst.
than
No,
Jolt?
it wasn't.
No, Jolt was trash. Jolt was trash.
This was trying.
This was trying.
I think they were really going for like a film noir sort of thing with like he wasn't a detective, but he basically was a detective trying to find out the mystery with the femme fatale, double cross. This was like straight out of the film noir, like step by step guide.
For sure, yeah.
You know, to me, this movie felt like memories. This woman appears, blah, 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 some more memories. Maybe some action or two.
But then you immediately
getting along.
But then you immediately got up and started watching YouTube videos, which probably is something we all should have done. I don't have any. I mean, listen, Lisa Joy, I'm grateful that New Jersey native Lisa Joy has had a good career and is making movies, and we need more ladies behind lenses and stuff, but there should have been a little bit more work on the script.
Yeah, this was a dud. And
it was
this the first thing she ever directed?
I mean, she's an executive producer on Westworld, so I don't know if she's directed some of those episodes, but I've seen her name in the credits with Jonathan Nolan's name, so I don't know.
Because like the visuals weren't.
They were just
They weren't interesting at all, really. I mean, for a sort of like a futuristic world. Well,
That's basically flooding.
Somewhat futuristic world. It wasn't that far removed from us. I mean, everything was like flooded. I guess the oceans rose and were swallowing Florida.
It's probably
which was the only positive in this whole script.
It's probably because of global warming.
Possibly.
We are jerks to this planet.
We are jerks to this planet.
Yes,
but I don't know if that was what was going on. Is it? I don't even know. He said something about a war.
Yeah,
he was in the military.
There was some kind of war. I mean, the water thing is definitely a
natural
global warming
disaster type thing.
Or,
okay,
climate change. But it was like sort of like and this is also kind of going on. It really wasn't relevant to the story in the slightest bit.
No. They could have been on dry land the whole time.
The technology being described was basically a way to view people's memories. Hugh Jackman was his career. That was his career. He used to be an interrogator for the military who would use this technology to search through people's memories and find out various bits of information. And now he turned it into a business where people just come in, and sometimes they just want to remember happy times in their lives. Sometimes it's like, oh, I lost my keys. Could you help me find them?
Right.
Dad, it's not always I lost my keys. It's more like I want to remember happy memories.
Most of the time it's that, but it also has that useful function of helping people find their keys, which is also kind of weird because now you have like a little thing you could put on your keychain and just say, hey, Google, find my keys.
Right.
I guess they didn't invent that in this.
Or the thing where you just like clap or say something and it starts a trigger. I don't know.
There was a lot of bad holes in this. I mean, like the whole thing with him trying to find this woman, and you're thinking the entire time, oh God, it's the double cross, the femme fatale. Oh my God. Honestly, this whole film could have easily been solved with just a cell phone call, and they had cell phones.
Yeah. Were you thinking that? And also, did they have I mean, they did have cell phones.
They did. But he had the crooked cop's cell phone, and he called.
What's his name? Yeah. Okay, you're right.
So cell phones existed in this universe.
Is that what you were thinking? Because the whole time I was thinking, listen, there's nothing wrong with Rebecca Ferguson, but why would you pick her over Thandie Newton? I couldn't get past that either.
Some people think Rebecca Ferguson's better looking than Thandie Newton, and apparently Hugh Jackman was one of them.
Well, he got what he deserved.
Plus,
play stupid game, win stupid prizes.
Yeah. Well, it was this whole film was just not really that interesting. Usually when you start off a film, I don't know, maybe I've just become spoiled with something, but you give me something in the beginning.
Right.
You give me
Within the
something,
next
that
first
hook, the
10
initial
minutes.
hook in the first 10 or 15 minutes that lets me go, wow, this seems interesting. I'm going to come along for this ride. That never happened in this
film. No.
I was like, and it never did. Throughout the entire thing, just waiting for something interesting to happen. And it just plods along. It really they really sort of stuck to like old school pacing.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with old films. I love old film noir films, but even they had like a bit of a hook in the beginning. This was blah. It was just like, why is this guy obsessing over this lady? Okay, you broke up with your girlfriend. She just ghosted you. Get on with your freaking life.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens more.
Because the 2 hours of your lives on nothing.
And I gotta say, this
Like
felt
it's
like
2 hours
an
for
hour
this
and
guy.
56 minutes.
It did.
Yeah, you felt every minute of this.
It
Yeah,
felt
it was
longer
painful.
to me,
It was
actually.
painful. And I like a lot of the actors in this. I like Hugh Jackman a lot.
yeah.
I love Thandie Newton. I like Rebecca Ferguson. I love Cliff Curtis,
Yeah, ambiguous race guy.
an ambiguous race guy.
With the one with the weird.
The
back
guy
of
who was all
his head.
scarred.
Yeah.
He's made a career of playing like I'm Spanish in this one. I'm Samoan in this one. I'm an Arab in this one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I see.
sure, like, during the movie, Gracie is interested in me, like, trying to get the headphones to work on your phone.
Wait, what?
Like, you looked over.
You know what?
Well,
It's
I wasn't
fine.
interested.
I
That may have
wasn't.
been the most exciting part of this movie.
Yeah,
watching trying to get
my
the headphones
favorite
to work.
part was the fudge M&Ms.
Yeah,
I
that
said
was
that
this
before.
movie's only redeeming quality.
And like the
It wasn't
writing
even in the movie.
Was
was
very
not,
bland.
like, especially the dialogue. The dialogue was so clunky.
I was surprised I didn't fall
heavy-handed.
asleep.
And
Yeah,
they
me
kept,
too.
And because you were dealing with memories, they just kept repeating the same clunky dialogue. Like that whole exchange between him and Rebecca Ferguson, where he's like, "Tell me a story." What kind of story? A story with a happy ending. There are no stories with happy endings. In fact, if your good story is especially good, it's especially not a happy ending because it ends. Oh, okay. Well, tell me a happy story that ends in the middle. Like that was almost word for
For
word.
word, yeah.
That was almost.
I'm
word
pretty
for
sure
word.
that's what they actually said.
And they did that exchange 3 times in the movie, and
'Cause he
it
kept
never,
reliving
it.
it.
Never sounded better. It
Never.
never.
Yeah,
it never
it really
sounded,
did.
Like, come on, make it a little bit more snappy. Give me some lines of dialogue where you're just like, "Wow, that's pretty deep." Because this
Yeah.
film was trying to be
It's
deep.
really hard. Yeah. I would say
You said-
I would say that I would rather watch The Fountain
Oh, I would totally rather watch The Fountain
than this
The
again.
Fountain was beautiful to look at.
The story made
The
sense.
story made sense. The dialogue was way better. I believe the romance. I mean,
Yeah.
this was like that was a story about a love that traversed through time and space, literally.
Yeah.
Would
And
you watch
could-
Tenet over
you could-
this?
No.
Good Lord, no.
No.
And you could feel that the character, there was good chemistry. I got nothing.
I got nothing from these two.
From
Yeah.
these two, it was.
And he was trying. I feel like Hugh Jackman was really, really trying.
He was definitely trying to be the hard-boiled guy.
Yeah.
Like the gruff voice and,
Yeah.
and everything, and I don't know.
Like the guy from Nobody?
I think maybe if the direction was a bit
No, it's
better.
a different movie.
I
Different type of
think
movie.
better if maybe if the direction was a little bit better, if they really leaned into that noir feel. This just it looked bland.
I-
It looked like a TV show.
Yeah, I'm watching it and it just, to me, it felt like a TV movie. Like this, I would never pay to see this in the movie theater.
Yeah, Thank God it was on HBO Max.
Yeah, because I if I had paid to
I'd
see
feel
this,
cheated.
I would have been mad. I would have been
I-
super
yeah.
mad. Like,
Would
I'm
you-
just,
I want a refund for watching this in
Wait,
the
would you
theater.
rather pay? Which would you be more mad at paying for, this movie or Cruella? If you had to pay for this movie,
this
which
one or
would you be
Cruella?
more mad for paying for?
I would, as much as I didn't like Cruella, I would watch that again.
Yeah.
Over this, yeah,
over
me
this,
too.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
even though that movie was silly, but this one, and it's not that it was silly, it just wasn't engaging. And I agree with you. I think that they were some heady concepts, but they just never panned out. To me,
And
it always goes back to the storytelling. The writing on this wasn't great. And if
Writing
you
was
have no great
yeah.
script, you have no good movie. And that I cannot stress that enough. I always tell you kids about the story process, storytelling. When you read something and you want to talk about it afterwards, you have to nail the important concepts of the story. And if it doesn't grab you, then it's just not a good story.
It's not worth watching it or just reading it.
I mean, I don't regret watching this, but am I ever going to watch this again? Absolutely not.
Oh my God,
No, I would like
I
if
would
I saw this
never
on
watch this again.
HBO or something, I'd skip right.
I would
past
skip
it.
right past it. And I would
This
tell my
wasn't-
friends that didn't watch it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's-
mean, if
it's
you
not a-
want to
it's not
watch
a good
noir,
romance. It's
go
not a good
watch
yeah, it's
good
not a good
noir.
romance. It's not a good detective story. It doesn't have good action. The fight scenes are
Meh.
like borderline lame. I mean, there was that one gunfight that was just for a gunfight. It was probably the dullest gunfight ever. You know what?
Gunpowder Milkshake had better action sequences than this.
Yeah, and that was like,
And that
those
wasn't a
were
great
kinda
movie
janky
either.
Too.
Yeah.
The only thing that was that
How are
looked
they janky? They were perfect and beautiful.
They weren't
Yeah, that's right. You
perfect
liked
or
it a lot.
beautiful.
All right, never mind.
the only thing that I thought was a pretty
The action in Jolt was better than. Well, I don't even know. That's a terrible movie too.
Wait,
the-
but this is worse.
The only
No,
the
this
only
is
thing
better than Joel.
This is better than Jolt.
Okay, I wanted to make
the
sure.
only shot that I thought was pretty was the guy caught in the piano descending into the.
Yes,
into
that was
the-
actually nice.
That
to
was
look
nice.
at.
That was a pretty shot.
Yeah, that was
But
nice.
other than that,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Nothing
I
to look
feel
at.
like they tried hard. I feel like Hugh Jackman really tried to pull this off.
I think Hugh Jackman was.
I think all the actors,
all the actors did what they
could with what
they
they
were
had.
given.
Yeah. I think
It
it's just a
didn't-
bad script.
It's a bad script. It didn't look good.
Yeah, some of the effects, like when he's on the there was a scene where he was on a train, I think, and behind him is, I guess, the city immersed in water, and it just looked fake. It just, I don't know, the effects on this weren't that
a lot
good.
of the wide shots of the city with the flooding
Were terrible.
They look like a video game.
Yeah.
They didn't look convincing. You really didn't even need to bother with the city is flooding because it had no relevance to the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you're trying to make some sort of analogy between like plumbing the depths of memory and making a connection to water. But even there, it's like the water was like people were just walking through. It really had nothing relevant to do with anything.
I was going to say, I don't know, maybe that was supposed to be like a kind of like a ding towards global warming.
I mean,
I don't
obviously,
know.
it was showing what the world could be like in I don't
A
know,
few
20
years.
30 years when sea levels rise. It wouldn't be the first, but I mean, the film wasn't about any of that, though.
No.
It wasn't like,
No.
oh, you know what? Maybe because there was like the barons, the ones who were like living on the dry land as they bought it all up.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really unnecessary either, because it was like, what? There aren't rich people now who are selfish and evil? Do you really need people living in turning Miami into basically Venice, Italy? That's going to make people go crazy? It's like there are already people who are rich and screwing over poor people.
Sure. And screwing over the planet.
And then somehow, like, and then at the end, when it's just like, and they found out what fat rich guy did, the people went nuts.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, there's like two riot cops, and then there's like a flaming garbage can somewhere, and then a bunch of people like, yeah, we're mad. And it was just like, these are the riots?
Pretty underwhelming.
I mean, Jesus, it's like you see angrier people at the supermarket.
This is true.
Yeah, they kill each other for TVs.
Yeah.
Flat screen.
Black Friday, you know?
Yeah.
And soupons.
Coupons.
So, I mean,
I don't know. Maybe they couldn't hire maybe this was made during COVID and they just couldn't like have people standing next to each other for a riot scene or something.
possibly. I mean, you know what? That's also a consideration. But I feel like this could have. Okay, again, when I watch stuff like this, I always wonder what could have made this better. What do you think?
A better director.
You know what? I don't even know if it's the director. I really feel like it's the script.
Well, the dialogue needed.
The dialogue was terrible.
Polished jobs, but the direction was so flat and boring. Seriously, there wasn't anything dynamic to look at. Nothing was pretty. I mean, maybe I'm saying the wrong thing. Maybe I should say cinematographer or something. But it was just a bland-looking movie. It seriously looked like something you'd see on TV.
Yeah, that's what when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this felt like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, and especially
like if I had to pay money for this, I would have been PO'd.
Yeah, and especially for it's supposed to be like a bit more futuristic. You're in Miami, and why was the color palette so muted? It's
that's
like
not Miami at
is
all.
All about garish colors and
neon
and whatever.
Bright lights.
Has nobody watched Miami Vice?
That still holds up to this day.
Well, that song is a banger.
Yeah, it is a banger. But
you guys use that word?
Yeah, we're not that old.
We just used it now.
I mean,
that song slaps.
I feel like I didn't have a problem with the direction. I had a problem with the script. And I just don't know what could have made this better. I think they were trying to go for this intricacy of like the double cross where you don't know where exactly May is. Is she a good person or a bad person? And you get the impression that she's good, and then you get the impression she's terrible, and then you get the impression that, oh, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah. And
I think there was too much of that. I think
he should have just not searched for her that obsessively.
I mean, I think he was going to anyway because it just felt like he had nothing else to do. But I think
you should have just gave him a goddamn phone call.
Yeah, seriously.
No. This is what I think. You know what would have made this story better? If the May character was just straight up evil and she wanted to kill Elsa and her kid because she was messing around with the old man because he's busy putting his stuff in all these ladies and she wants to inherit. So that should have been the motivation to getting rid of those two instead of it being the stupid son who looked flimsy.
I gotta be honest. I don't think anything could have saved it. It was just too convoluted. It really was. I whether she was straight up evil or not, I don't see how you could make. I don't know. I can't imagine this story being made better by just one tweak like that.
No. But I think that one tweak would have to change a lot of the other stuff. Like, I don't think the Watts character, the Thandie Newton character, she shouldn't have existed in this world. I would just completely take her. Okay, so these are my notes. My notes are get rid of, as much as I love Thandie Newton, or make Thandie Newton the May character. Get rid of Rebecca Ferguson. apologies of Rebecca Ferguson. Get rid of Rebecca Ferguson. Made Thandie Newton the May character. Made May hard ass noir she-devil kind of personality. Who comes in all sweet and lovely and gets into Hugh Jackman, gets what she needs, right? Completely eliminate Cliff Curtis. Apologies, Cliff Curtis. Get rid of the crazy wife who needs to relive this moment in time in perpetuity, right?
Yeah, and that's the best moment she could think of?
Yeah.
That's pretty lame.
Get rid of that character. See, to me, you needed to pare this down, bring it to the bare bones. The best things about noir is the femme fatale.
But in noir, there's always the good girl, too.
There is always
And that was where Thandie Newton was.
Not necessarily.
The one that doesn't, the unrequited lover?
That's not true. Double Indemnity, there's no good girl. It's just Barbara Stanwyck.
Yeah. There wasn't some girl.
I mean, unless you're thinking Edward G. Robinson and Fred McMurray. Because, I mean, I've heard conversation about those two as well.
Edward G.
But
Robinson's
that's a different road to take. But I'm saying get rid of all the minutia, right? And just focus on straight story. You have elements of good, you have elements of evil. You have this guy who feels like, yo, this chick took me for a ride. I'm going to come after her. And then you have this epic battle. She turns on the doe eyes like, oh, I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to hurt you. And then she tries to stab him, and then he, like, pushes her off a ledge or something. However they would have ended it. But I think getting rid of all these extra characters and streamlining the story and just making it even less of this like back and forth, like from the beginning.
That could work, but it wouldn't be this movie.
It wouldn't be. Well, that's what I'm saying. This movie needed to be something else.
So basically, what you're saying is watch Double Indemnity.
Basically, yes. If you want to see good noir, I don't know if it's streaming anywhere, but Double Indemnity, Kansas City Confidential, which I think Tarantino said was the basis of what again? I forgot. It might have been Reservoir Dogs. He said that was very influential to him. There's a ton of really, really good noir out there, which I would definitely recommend.
And generally, they have some classic dialogue.
Really good dialogue. You know what was even good? The one with, was it Soderbergh? What was the one with, is it Nicolas Cage and Linda Fiorentino? Is it Red Rock West or something? Oh, I'm blanking. Maybe it's not Nicolas Cage. I don't remember.
Nah, I don't know. A Soderbergh movie?
Maybe it's not Soderbergh. But I think it was definitely Linda Fiorentino, who I haven't seen in like forever. What the hell has she been up to?
Okay, I have our exact results for this movie review. It was boring and a waste of time and money.
Yeah, you got to really proof your. I co-sign on the sentiment,
You
but
could
you gotta
work on your spelling.
Work on your spelling.
Anyway, let's just give this thing numbers.
Okay. Gigi, 1 to 10.
I'm not thinking straight right now.
3.5.
3.5. Wow. What about you, LJ? Or do you even vote? Because
you kind of didn't watch this movie.
you kind of didn't really watch this movie.
I give it a 1.
A 1. Wow.
For like the bits and pieces I saw,
this movie wasn't made for you.
Yeah, this movie.
This movie is definitely not for kids, and it's not even really because it's like
that's what
in any kind of way. It's just.
Did you see this? The Last Seduction from 1994.
Oh, I saw that. Oh, I hated that movie.
Did you? I mean, it was better than this.
It was better than this, but
this was like sort of like the noir thing too. A devious sex pot steals her husband's drug money and hides out in a small town where she meets the perfect dupe for her next scheme. Peter Berg, who went on to direct Friday Night Lights, which we really enjoyed.
I would give it. What'd you say, G? 3.5.
Yep.
I'd probably give it a 3.
A 3. Okay, I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna give this a 4 only because female director and female writer, and I really like the actors in this, and I really feel like they tried with what they had, and it was somewhat free.
The acting wasn't bad.
I don't want to.
No, the acting wasn't terrible.
Any of the actors, or even the Joy, but it just this did not come together.
Yeah, no, this definitely needed a lot of work on it.
Yeah, better luck next time, guys.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's a ton of noir. I mean, I love the idea of noir. I've always loved noir movies. To this day, every once in a while, a couple of months, I go on YouTube and I look at that Fred McMurray, Barbara Stanwyck first meeting in Double Indemnity. You cannot write better than that. Mm-hmm. How fast was I going? I loved everything about that is just amazing to me, and it still holds up. That movie's gotta be at least more than 60 years old.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it wouldn't come out in
the 40s or the 50s. Yeah. So it has to be like at least
like 70 years old.
I know. We were watching TCM and like they're talking about Citizen Kane and G's like, that movie's older than you, Mom. It's 80 years old. Can you imagine that movie is 80 years old? That is old.
Indeed. All right, so let's
go watch Citizen Kane. Go watch Double Indemnity. Go watch Kansas City Confidential. Go watch Detour. Go watch. There's a whole plethora of film noir to watch. This is not it.
Yeah, you could skip out on this one.
Blade Runner, Constantine, modern noir.
Modern noir, for sure. Did I give my number? I said 4.
4.
Yeah.
4. 4.
3.5, 3, and 1.
And 1. Wow. Yeah, this is on the low scale. Our advice is to skip this.
Skip it.
And go watch some other noir or Fear Street on Netflix.
Nah.
No?
Fear Street was okay.
It was better than this.
I'd recommend Fear Street.
I'd recommend Fear Street.
It was better than this, but it's not like as though, like, if you want to not see this and see a really good movie, go look at a really good movie. Like go watch Paddington or something.
Yes.
Like Paddington is outstanding.
Yes.
Both of them. Inside Out, great. Mad Max Fury Road.
Well, if you're
go watch excellent movies.
If you're on HBO Max and you haven't seen Suicide Squad,
oh yeah, what are you doing with your life?
Yes, what are you doing with your life? I mean, that's
well said.
Yeah. What else is on HBO Max?
Wellington Paranormal.
Wellington Paranormal. Check that out.
Yeah, which we should
probably watch right now.
Okay, so we're done.
Thank you, and have a good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.